re-inaugurated there, and I was even surprised how well they did that. Okay, so if you look at the Gujarati book, they talk about the engagement and wedding, and you know, in this engagement and wedding, there is awful lot of exchange of gifts to the bride family, to the bride's brothers and sisters, and then vice versa, coming to bridegroom and doing the same thing. And this is called vago apano, means give a present of the complete set of clothes, including beautiful sari to the bride's sister maybe, and so on. The wedding also is the same way. They have 4 days, and they do some other ceremonies, but basically it is the gifting of the whole kind of back and forth going between bride and bridegroom's families. I actually performed a wedding in Toronto, which was very well done between the wife's family and also the bride's family and the bridegroom family. Okay, so here is the essence of various ceremonies, and I have given you a PDF file, as I said before, which explains some of the reasons for this. You can take a look at it and see what you can make out of it. You may not believe some of the explanations, but that is what it is. I am on slide 32. Now we come to the Roshan Bharucha's book. By the way, I just found out, Dolly, that she is your Bobby. It's what a small world. Well, anyway, so Roshan has done a wonderful job of really describing all these different ceremonies of the wedding, and I'm very thankful to her also for letting us use this information. I am on slide 33. I'm going to slide 34 now. So let us make an overall review of the Parsi wedding ceremonies quickly. Marriage, according to our customs from time immemorial, is a good institution preferred by God. Helping marriage is a meritorious act according to the Herodotus, and our marriageable age is between 18 and 21, but our Parsis marry as late as 30s and 35s and so on, and most of them don't marry at all, as you know. So then we have this betrothal, the engagement. They have a ceremonial divo or lamp for it. We will talk about Madhav Saro, which is a little ceremony which is done many places still. I just got a message from a Daruwala family in California who said they did this also in California when their daughter married about 2011. This Supra Ufanwa, this was kind of very interesting. When I was at the Morbid wedding ceremony, they performed this, and I haven't seen that one done in such a long time, so that's why I wanted to show you what it is. It's a kind of a novelty kind of thing. Then, of course, Ardani is the engagement day, which is usually 4 days before wedding. Then the marriage day, they choose the time. Usually it is the evening for us. They take the nun, which we call sacred bath. Then you have this traditional marriage dress, thilis, presents, dowry, and procession. Let me talk about dowry a little bit. You know, I will talk this later on, but awful lot of things are exchanged from the bride's family to the bridegroom's family for bride, and many times it includes the furniture, the vessels for cooking, all those kind of things in the old days. I guess in this day and age, the bride and bridegroom are very independent on themselves, and many of this is not done. Mostly people give them money so that they can use it to whatever purpose they want to do it. The welcoming ceremony, you welcome, brides welcome the bridegroom side and vice versa. And there is a ceremonial fire at the end of the wedding ceremony, just as a kind of a symbolic way of showing. But in wedding ceremony proper, there is no fire lighted throughout the wedding ceremony as I know. Of course, we have the witnesses on both sides. Then we use this ara antar, which many people think we borrowed from the Hindus maybe after coming to India. But it has a good symbolic kind of meaning to it, and we will talk about that later on, throwing the rice and so on. The religious ceremony and the benediction, we will talk some about that. This washing of the feet may have come from Hindus again, but then there are other Christians and other places also this is done, so we don't know where it originally originated. And then comes the most important part of the current Parsi weddings in Bombay and everywhere is the Parsi Lagan Nubonu, as you see on the lower right hand corner up there. So, what are the ancient references for the Parsi wedding ceremonies? Marriage, again, as I said, is a good institution preferred by God. And in our Vandidat, chapter Fargarat 4, paragraph 47, Ramazda speaks to Zarathustra. He said, I thus recommend a man with a wife above a man who is unmarried, a man with a family with a man without a family, a man with children above one who is without children. Helping marriage was always a meritorious act from time immemorial, and there is a specific reference that Emperor Noshiran Adil, believe it or not, had a budget item for helping families, poor families, so that they can give the dowry, so that they can be married. And this was recorded in our history. Then Herodotus, as I mentioned in his first book, paragraph 136 says, next to prowess in arms, it is regarded as the greatest proof of manly excellence to be the father of many sons. Every year the king sends rich gifts to the man who can show the largest number, for they hold that number is the strength. I am on slide 35. Now he wrote that about 500 BC, 2500 plus years ago. This was what our forefathers believed about the marriage ceremonies. So, the first part of the wedding ceremony of the Parsis is the engagement. The bridegroom gives the ring to the bride, and this engagement may be a very private kind of thing these days. And then the day of the wedding is decided, and 4 days before wedding, a Madhav Sarov. Madhav Sarov really started when we used to have a tent, or mandap as I call it. And so before they do the mandap by putting the poles and so on to cover it up and so forth, we do this ceremony as if to say to the Spandadmat Ameshaspan, the one Ameshaspan who is responsible for the earth, that we are going to do this, but in turn we are going to give something back to the earth. So we plant a sapling, and in India the sapling usually is of the ambo or the mango sapling, whereas here I just found out that in one of the places they actually put a sapling of the orange tree in California and so on. This is the same meaning for that. We talk some more about Supra Upanwa later on, and Achu Michu is also, we will talk about that. Then Adarni is actually the engagement where bridegroom gives bride in the old days at this time, according to our scriptures and according to our Pajan Ashirwad that we pray for the wedding. It says that bridegroom gives bride 2,000